People will spend hours, weeks, months researching a $350 plane ticket to Tulum. However, apparently they won't do half the research when it comes to buying a $350,000 home. This article should really be called 90% of first-time homebuyers do absolutely no research. Some of the items on this list are absolutely ridiculous. I'll tell you the biggest surprise for new homeowners was property taxes. You're thinking, how in the world would they be surprised about property taxes? It's literally listed on your loan estimate. I don't know either, but I'm going to show you 4 ways to figure out what your property taxes are before you purchase the home, and also break down these other 12 first-time homebuyer, oh, I didn't know this was coming expenses, so you don't have to make the same mistakes. Let's go. Welcome back to House Rich, the first-time homebuyer show where we help millennials figure out how in the world do I buy my first home. Today we're talking about the 90% of homeowners that did no research when buying a home and the common mistakes or common surprises that they ran into. Number 1 with the bullet somehow is property taxes. Here's the thing, there is no way you should be surprised by property taxes. They are literally public record. They're also literally on the loan estimate that your lender gives you when you go under contract. But maybe once you're under contract, it's a little bit too late. So here's some other ways to figure out what your property taxes are. When you look at that home, you can literally go to Realtor.com and go to the property details, like the property history. It'll show you the property taxes for the previous year. And what you're looking for is like a steady increase in property taxes. Like if those property taxes are frozen from 1 year over year over year, maybe there's some sort of exemption on the property due to them being maybe a veteran or a over 65 person or whatever the age bracket is in your local jurisdiction. Also, you want to look at the property tax for properties with similar home values to make sure that there's not also some sort of exemption on the property. So that's step 1 in order to get an idea of what the property taxes are on the property. Number 2, just ask your realtor to do the same research for you. They should be able to provide you the property taxes for that property. Number 3, as I mentioned, it's literally on the loan estimate. And where does your lender get the information from the loan estimate? They literally pull it from the Central County Appraisal District. So look up the Central County Appraisal District for your county or city. And if property taxes are public information, those property taxes will literally be right there that you can just type in the address of the home and find out what they are. Now, if your property taxes are not public record, once again, just ask your lender how they're estimating the property taxes for that property. Now, the only situation where there may be some ambiguity is if it's a new construction home, because property taxes are calculated based off the value of the land the year before when it was just a dirt lot. So if you have like a $400,000 home, your property taxes may be super low compared to other $400,000 homes in the area because the property taxes are based off when the property was just a plot of dirt. So in that situation, you want to get with your title company and make sure that you have the improved taxes for the property so that they're projecting what the property taxes most likely will be in the future for a property of that purchase price. And also, property taxes are based off a percentage of your home's value. So if your home goes up in value, your property taxes will go up. So beware, your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance payment will go up every year. So don't be surprised. At 27%, we have renovations. My question is, why are you doing renovations on the property if you don't know what that costs in the first place? So you go into the home, you fall in love with the home, but you're like, okay, I think this needs some TLC. We'll need to do some upgrades. So at that point, before or even after you make the offer, you maybe want to have a licensed contractor or a realtor that understands renovations, or your dad or somebody come into the property, or maybe not your dad, that's why folks are underestimating renovations, but a licensed professional be like, okay, hey, it's going to cost $20,000 to upgrade the kitchen. It's going to cost $10,000 for this bathroom. If you're a first-time home buyer, you should not be trying to do these renovations on yourself. Make sure you get at least a quote from a licensed professional. That's why you need to have a realtor that knows what they're doing. This is not HGTV. You're not going to go into a home and then 30 minutes later it's going to be renovated and some guy with a spiked haircut and a lot of makeup comes out and it's all free. At 27%, also we have utilities. So this one I can totally understand because maybe you're in a 800-foot or 1,000-foot apartment and you don't pay utilities in the apartment. It's just part of your rent. So you may have no idea what utilities are. So for this, you maybe want to ask your realtor what the typical, water, electric, gas, trash, and so forth would be for a property of that equivalent value. So I can legit see why utilities would be an issue for first-time home buyers, or even second or third-time home buyers. So you get a pass on that one. Roof repairs at 25%. So you always want to get a home inspection on the property. As a reminder, your appraisal is not an inspection. Someone comes out and evaluates the value of the home, but they're not like going on the roof and evaluating what the roof is worth. That is a home inspector's job. So make sure you're reading the inspection report. The roof is a big ticket item. It can cost 10, 20, 30 thousands of dollars depending on how big your home is. So you want to understand the age of the roof, how much life it has left, and the estimated cost to replace it, because you do have insurance, but your deductible may be, a couple $1,000s for that roof. So make sure you're actually reading the inspection report that your home inspector does, and ask questions, especially about the roof, if you don't understand what the report says. Maintaining home appearance was 24%. Yes, stuff ages. When you drive by neighborhoods, you're like, hey, their property looks old and dilapidated. Well, they didn't maintain the property. Like, yes, stuff ages. These aren't McDonald's fries, which just keep their form forever, ever, and ever, or like Twinkies, right? So this is why brick homes last longer and don't get blown down by the big bad wolf, right? Because they last longer. So if you have like a wooden cabin or something, or a vinyl siding, that may not last as long as the brick. So for instance, like garage doors. We've been in this home for about 7 years. We just had to repaint our garage doors with like weathered paint. That cost us about $900, but $900 over the course of 7 years. There's garage doors and basically all the window panels and stuff that were outside. So yes, you're going to have to pay to maintain the property. The older the property, the more likely you're going to have to make some sort of maintenance repair to it a little bit quicker. Homeowners insurance clocked in at 23%. I honestly don't understand this at all, because you're the one that gets the homeowner's insurance quote. Like, you're calling Jake from State Farm or Flo or somebody like that and getting a quote. Just like you should be with your mortgage, make sure you're shopping around and getting different rates. Because with insurance, some insurance companies can be way higher than others in the exact same area. Like, let's say there was a hailstorm in an area, like State Farm may have a higher premium in the area because a higher percentage of their houses got hit. So they got to make up for that higher premium by passing on to the next customer. So make sure you're shopping around insurance. But once again, that is also part of your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance payment, which is on your loan estimate. So you at no point should be surprised what your insurance is, because you're getting the insurance and it's part of your monthly mortgage payment. I'm going to group all three of these into one category. There's appliance upgrades, appliance renovations, and HVAC at 21, 22, and 21%. This goes back to your home inspection and actually reading the inspection report and asking questions if you have questions. Like, the age of these appliances should be known and is detailed in the report, and also the life or how long these appliances will last as well. But once again, if you're just going into a property and you're like, okay, these appliances are a little bit old, I don't want this white refrigerator, even though the refrigerator typically does not come with the property, you would have to buy that. But if they're older appliances or like HVAC systems in the property, you should know that when you're buying the home, and also be estimating how much it will cost. If you don't know, you got to ask somebody before you buy the home. Yard work clocked in at 19%. Like, who did you think was cutting the grass or trimming the bushes, right? If you're part of an HOA, some HOAs have like front lawn maintenance already done for you as part as the dues. But like, the backyard and stuff is not covered for you, and you should know whether something is covered or isn't covered before you buy the home. So to me, that's kind of weird for folks to be shocked about a lawn having to be cut. So here's some options for you, right? So you can go into, like, if you have a Facebook group for your neighborhood, you can go in and probably get a quote from somebody or get a referral from somebody that cuts the lawn. It may be $20, $25, depending on how big your backyard is, maybe every 2 weeks or every month. Or you can do what I did. So I used to have someone pay to cut the lawn. It was like $25. It was $20. They raised it to $25, and I was like, oh, that's too much. And so I just bought a lawnmower. It cost about $250, and now I just cut my grass myself. I listen to a podcast while I do it. It takes me like 20, 25 minutes on a Sunday morning. It's not a big deal. House cleaning. Yes, just like the grass won't cut itself, the house will not clean itself as well. So here's the thing where it's like, hey, how do you value your time? If you have a larger home, it may take you, 4 or 5 hours to clean that home if you just do it, every 1 or 2 weeks. So something you can do is like hire a maid service. To me, that's good money spent, because those maids typically can knock out what may take maybe you and a spouse, 4 or 5 hours to do. They'll knock it out in like 60 minutes to 90 minutes because they may have 2 or 3 people, and they'll do a much better job than you would do. To me, hiring a maid is a very good use of your money versus using your time. And once again, you can probably get a quote from your realtor or somebody as far as what it may cost for a maid to clean a home of that size. Foundation, that is typically a huge expense. A foundation is something that should not catch you off guard, because once again, you had a home inspection done. And so if you're in a state like Texas, there are foundation issues because for whatever reason, the soil moves a lot and they're just going to be foundation issues with the property. If you're in a new construction home, typically you have something called a 1 to 10 warranty. The one is everything's covered for the first year. Year two or up to year two is stuff like plumbing, electrical, wiring, and stuff like that is covered. Then up to year 10, like the foundation and roof is covered. So if you have a new construction home, you don't have to worry about the foundation, at least for the first 10 years. Last but not least is HOA fees. Like, you should know what the HOA fees are before you put an offer in on the property. That's something that should not shock you by any means. If you're looking at a condo or a master plan community, they're going to have an HOA. So make sure you ask your realtor what the HOA is for that community, for that property. Because if it's a condo, it can be like super high. So let's say you're budgeting for, I don't know, $2,000 a month. You're looking at homes that will procure you a $200,000 a month payment. And those are like single family homes. If you go to a condo that has like kind of like the same price bracket, but there's going to be like a $500 HOA fee, that's going to kind of knock you out of your budget. So always ask your realtor if this property has a HOA, because they will know it's part of the property details. Now, your mission is to learn from these other sacrificial lambs that made these kind of bogus mistakes. If you're looking to buy a home in Texas, I can help you. I'm a realtor here, or I can help you actually in all 50 states with my national referral network. So reach out to me and buy land. Rumor has it they're not making any more of it.